Hey guys, what's cracking? It's Krakenation. I'm coming at you guys today with our Season 2 of the Kraken Cup analysis. We're going to try to be a little better, a little more timely about uploading our Season 2 matches for Kraken Cup. So without further ado, we're going to get into our team. I got to tell you guys, this team ended up stacked. I had to deal with a lot of snipes during the draft building process, so don't get me wrong, during the drafting process, I had to replan a few times. This draft is pretty far off what I was originally expecting, but some crazy stuff fell. I might have even been able to make this draft a little better here and there, to be totally honest with you guys. I'm not sure, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. It got power ranked by our Kraken Cup coaches panel. It got power ranked as the #1 draft, so that's insane. We're going to have to play up to par with a draft like this, that's for sure. So I'm going to start queuing you guys in on the stats here. So Boston Bisharps, that's the team, right? And let's pull up our first Pokemon. So in the Mega Round of Kraken Cup Season 2, we selected Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise is an absolute threat, a powerhouse. It is in B tier, so we were able to get a couple more extra bonus points to spend in those lower rounds. And Mega Blastoise is going to be, I think, a great value pickup. It was already a pretty decent Pokemon. I always thought I liked it in previous generations a lot already, but I think in this generation it just got that much better because we did ban Shell Smash. Keep that in mind. The community voted in our league here, and we voted to ban Shell Smash on the whole. So it is not going to be using any Shell Smashes. If so, this Pokemon would have been banned. This thing we're using Shell Smash would be absolutely off the charts, powerful, absurd, literally almost no counters in the game, thanks to its good bulk. But regardless, it does still get the access to Rapid Spin, which is buffed in this generation. So it's got the chance to essentially give itself a 1-point speed boost, a 1-stage speed boost. And if you already know, Blastoise is a very, very potent wall breaker. You can run some speed, you can run some also bulky sets, you can run a wall breaking set. It's got great special attack stat with 135. It can afford to run Modest a lot. And then furthermore, you can augment that even more by running Mega Launcher based moves like things like Dragon Pulse, Aura Sphere, Dark Pulse, Water Pulse. All these moves get a boost. And I wish Flash Cannon got a boost from that. Would have been nice. The move to hit fairy types. But alas, it does not. Regardless, the big thing that's going to answer this thing is going to be other bulky water types in general are just going to be kind of problematic for it. Things like Milotic, Tapu Fini come to mind. Other big bulky water types are going to be an issue. Suicune is another big answer. So it's still got some checks on its power level for sure, but Rapid Spin is going to give it the chance to become a potentially dangerous sweeping option in a lot of games thanks to a quick speed boost. So I'm excited to use this thing in this season. Next up, we've got Landorus Therian, and this thing is a beast. I have never drafted Landorus Therian, and now keep in mind, Z moves are banned in Kraken Cup Season 2, so I will not be using any Z Fly or Z Earthquake, and so without Z, this thing is noticeably weaker than it used to be. But it's still a dominant, versatile Pokemon with access to things like Earthquake, obviously U-Turn, knockoff, fighting moves, Stealth Rock, Defog as well, so it's a Defogger and a Rocker. Swords Dance, Rock Polish, you name it, this Pokemon's got that great ability to intimidate. It's got great stats, a great speed tier. It can run a lot of very potent offensive sets as well as some good defensive sets. It's a good AV Pokemon if you wanted to go down that road. It's got the chance to do a lot of different things very well, and for that reason, it just brings a lot to the table. It's really hard to prepare for, especially in a world that now Hidden Power Ice no longer exists. Nothing's going to be running Hidden Power Ice, so if a Pokemon doesn't get ice coverage to hit Landorus, I no longer have to be worried that random Pokemon are slotting it in. So in a world without Hidden Power, Landorus Therian just gets that much better. So for all that it lost with Z moves, I think it gained just as much back with the HP Ice removal from the game. So definitely I think going to be a really good pickup here, and I'm really excited to use it. Next up we've got, let me pull it up. Next up we've got here is Necrozma. Necrozma is a beast. It's always been a really good Pokemon, I always thought, and just kind of in the vein of Landorus Therian. Absurdly versatile. When your opponent sees a Necrozma, they actually just don't know what to prep for. It's kind of like one of those Pokemon like Mew, where you see it, and you're not sure how you're going to beat it because it could run a different set from game to game and just completely change the game. It's kind of like when I had Mew last season. Defensive Mew was effective. Specially defensive Mew was effective. Physically defensive Mew was effective. Sweeper sets, physical, special, wall breaking sets, cleaner sets. You name it, it can do it. Necrozma operates in a really similar space to that, albeit maybe a little less than Mew, a little more specialized. But I'm thinking overall it's got a better ability. Prism Arm is going to be really nice to help it tank hits. So I think this thing's got the chance to be very, very effective. It's got access to Dragon Dance now, which is a notable thing. It could be a potentially very effective Dragon Dancer. I think it has access to Nasty Plot, Calm Mind, Stored Power, Swords Dance. I think it even has Rock Polish. It's got great coverage, Stealth Rocks. Photon Geyser obviously being an insane move because you can be physically invested and click Photon Geyser, have this amazing physical attacking stab move or special attacking stab move, and you're never going to worry that you're not going to have a good move. Like, you're never going to worry about missing Zen Headbutts. You're never going to, like, it's better than Psychic, it's better than Zen Headbutt, always. So, it's got great moves there, and it's going to be a lot of fun to use, I think. Next up, we've got Conkeldurr. I've always wanted to draft Conkeldurr. It's a Pokemon I've never drafted in draft format. I've never drafted a few of these Pokemon, actually. I've never had Necrozma. I've never had Conkeldurr. So Conkeldurr's now a defogger, which is really cool. So Conkeldurr was already a really, really good Pokemon. It's got access to 3 fantastic abilities. Guts Breakers are insane. Sheer Force Life Orb is insane. I think you'd rather run Guts Breaker so you can click Facade, but Sheer Force has the chance to be really effective in some matchups too. And Iron Fist also is really good, although I think that's kind of probably in order here are the order of the abilities you probably want to run, with Iron Fist being definitely unarguably at the bottom. But it's got a great attack stat, good physical defense, Assault Vest sets are really effective, Bulk Up sets really effective, special attacking sets obviously not so much, but you're never going to run that anyways. It's got access to Priority, it's probably my best Priority user on my team. Mach Punch is really good off this thing. Furthermore, it gets Defog now, which I think is really notable because if you think about a lot of drafts, they rely on rock types and steel types to set hazards. Well, you know what destroys both rock types and steel types? Conkeldurr. And now keep in mind we are in a post-home format, which means that Conkeldurr is going to be able to click those knockoffs still. So Psychic types don't necessarily wall it. Ghost types don't necessarily wall it. It's got the tools to hit those Pokemon very, very effectively. And for that reason, I think Conkeldurr is an awesome Pokemon, and I cannot wait to use it this season. Just the fact that it can beat all those rockers is going to be, I think, absurd. Next up, we've got Obstagoon. Obstagoon is the only Generation 8 Pokemon I drafted this season. I think it's just a Pokemon that is matchup proof. It's just got a fantastic breaking ability. It's also a Guts Breaker like the Pokemon I just showed you. It's got Defiant to punish defoggers potentially. Reckless, really cool. It's got good bulk. Obstruct is cool. Good speed tier. Parting Shot's awesome for my team. Just all around a good Pokemon. I have drafted Sticky Webs later in my draft, so it's going to be a Pokemon that can abuse Sticky Webs really, really effectively, along with things like Blastoise and Landorus. Just operates in that speed tier where you really love to be able to use Sticky Webs. It can be a good Scarfer. It can be a Guts Breaker. Oh, man, I am just so excited to use this Pokemon. Just overwhelm some teams. Stall Break with it. It's going to be really, really good. So next up on our draft, we picked up, where are you? We picked up, I think it was Roseread. Yep. So our draft point was Roseread. Now Roseread lost Hidden Power Technician, so it lost something this generation. It lost a little bit of its viability. Technician boosted Hidden Power was really effective. That's why it's in C tier now. But it does give me access to Spikes, Toxic Spikes, as well as give me a really potentially effective, specially defensive Pokemon, which our draft was kind of lacking. So overall, it operates good in a space there where we kind of needed it to. It also just gives us a good grass type in general, a good grounded poison type to absorb T-Spikes in a pinch. I think it's just going to be overall a pretty effective Pokemon for my draft, and I'm excited to use it. It's kind of more of like a role filler than it is anything else. It's still got a lot of power, obviously 125 special attack. This thing could be a potentially very effective special attacker as well. Next up, we got a Krakenation's favorite Boston Bisharps regular Swellow. So it's a threat, man. On any draft where I need to just fill a top speed tier in a lower tier, if I didn't draft something fast in the top tiers that to hit that top of the speed charts, I just usually like to pick up Swellow in the later rounds. It's a Pokemon I love using, I'm comfortable using, and it's just really effective. It's my third Facade Guts user if I wanted to go down that road. Maybe the best one of them all, but it's got that option to use Guts or Specs Scrappy Boom Burst. It's as good as it's always been. It operates in that top speed tier. It's got pivot access, U-turn. It's got defogging if I really wanted to. Boots is an item that exists now, so you could run Boots Swellow, although I think it's a little too item dependent, so usually you're going to want to run Boom Burst instead, or like a Specs Boom Burst or a Flame Orb Facade. That you want to be in that vein instead, I'm thinking. But just a Pokemon that I've always loved using. It's a great cleaner. Quick Attack is also really good on those Facade sets to outspeed those Scarfers as well. Just a Pokemon, yeah. Whenever I need to fill a top speed tier and I don't have a flying type yet, a good flying type, Swell is a good Pokemon for me. It's always just a Pokemon I've loved using, and I love it on drafts. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next Pokemon up, and that is Vikavolt. And Vikavolt is a Pokemon I've always loved a lot. I have not drafted a ton in the past. I think I might have drafted it one time somewhere. But Vikavolt is just a Pokemon that just is textbook like I love. It's a special wall breaker. It's also really nice in drafts in general. When your electric type is not only not weak to a ground type, but it's actually your electric type is your ground immunity. That can be pretty massive. So I end up just much between Landorus Therian and Vikavolt. My draft just physically cannot be ground a week, which is awesome. So Levitate obviously does that for me. It gives me good special attacking power. And what's really notable about Generation 8 Vikavolt now is that it gets sticky webs. Or wait, no. I might have got that in Gen 7, but regardless, either way, I'm not sure. It has sticky webs, which is going to be really, really helpful for my draft. It's a really good specs user. It's a good assault vest user. Just heavy duty boots is a fantastic item on Vikavolt. Heavy duty boots and some powerful attacking moves and a volt switch and like stabs is just really good. It's got energy ball to hit ground types as well, so it can come in on earthquakes and then click energy ball to really threaten those ground types. So that is fantastic. Now obviously it loses a little bit to edge quake coverage, but what are you going to do? Still overall really happy with this Pokemon, and I was really amped to pick it up. I thought it was a great value pickup. Next up, we've got Druddigon. Druddigon is a Pokemon I have not drafted in a hot minute. I'm a person who usually loves to draft Garchomp. And when I don't draft Garchomp, I don't draft Goodra, I don't draft one of these higher tier dragons that I love, Druddigon for me has always been a great go-to Pokemon. It's really just baby Garchomp, right? It's got that rough skin defensive sets that you can run similar to Garchomp. It's got all that breaking power similar to Garchomp. It's got sheer force, which is insane. Sheer force with some punch moves. Is really, really potentially insanely effective. It's a great stealth rocker, mold breaker, just 3 great abilities that let it operate in different space. So it's deceptively versatile. It can be defensive with things like Glare. That's awesome. Glare, stealth rock, dragon move, coverage move, fantastic set. It can be a breaker with life orb, sheer force. It can be as access to priority and sucker punch. It's just a fantastic Pokemon overall, one that I'm a huge fan of, and I don't know, just an easy slam dunk Pokemon for me when I needed a dragon in the later tiers. This is just such an underrated Pokemon in my opinion. Absolutely critically underrated. With my E tier pick, I picked up Avila. It's been a hot minute since I've drafted Avila, but Avila is a Pokemon I have been a fan favorite of for a long time. Now with heavy duty boots, Avila is insane. You no longer have a Avila as your rapid spinner on a team potentially that fears the rocks it's about to try to clear. Heavy Duty Boots has just eliminated that problem, and Avila is now one of the best Heavy Duty Boots Pokemon, maybe even in the game, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, that might be an exaggeration. You have things like Volcarona and Cinderace, obviously, but Avila is just awesome with boots. It fears no physical attack, essentially. It's awesome. Without giving up offensive pressure, it can still cook those powerful avalanches and those crunches, earthquakes, gyro balls, the like. It's got access to Roar. Mirror Coat's a fun one. Just Recover, obviously, it always has. Sturdy is always a good ability on it. Sturdy now, thanks to Heavy Duty Boots, Sturdy won't break every time you come in. So if you need that pinch defensive answer, Avila could be it for you. This Pokemon is going to be an absolute killer, guys, this season. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I'm excited about this one as all hell. So now we get into the bonus rounds, and we had a big bonus budget because we drafted Roseread. So I'll round it off for you. We dropped with Blastoise Mega. We got 2 extra bonus points. So we start off with 7. Blastoise Mega got us 2 extra. Necrosha got us 1 extra. Obstagoon got us 1 extra. Roseread got us 1 extra. Swellow got us 2 extra. No, Swellow got us 2 extra. Vikavolt got us 1. Druddigon got us 1. So we had a big bonus budget by the end of the draft. So I ended up being able to pick up some really exciting stuff in the later rounds. The first Pokemon was Gengar, and Gengar is an absolute favorite of mine. Obviously, the Levitate days are far behind it, but it got Nasty Plot this generation. Nasty Plot Gengar is an absolute threat. Kind of in a similar vein to Obstagoon, Gengar just feels relatively matchup proof. Just when you bring it to an average game, it's going to find a set that works. It's going to be effective. Scarf Gengar, Specs Gengar, Nasty Plot, just 3 attacks with a weird sub-disable or something like that. Just it's got the coverage it needs. It's really good on everything. There are no switch-ins to offensive go types like Gengar just in general. The normal types that come into it, Fear Sludge Bomb, Fear Focus Blast. So it's just a Pokemon that if it had Levitate, it was an A tier Pokemon this season. It was and if it had Levitate, it would probably be honestly maybe a top 10, top 15 Pokemon in the game right now. It's not quite there, but with Cursed Body, but it's still, I think, just a fantastic Pokemon. And like I said earlier, I don't really feel like my draft is ground weak at all. I picked up 2 ground weaknesses in bonus because I have high tier ground weaknesses, to be fair. Because I've got Landorus, I've got my Electric type is Vikavolt, I've got Swellow, I've got the answers there. Even Blastoise kind of switches in. Avila destroys ground types because it switches in and clicks Avalanche. So I just feel like it's okay if I draft a couple ground weaknesses here because these Pokemon were way too good to be passed up on. So I picked up the Gengar. Great utility move pool, amazing special attacker, obviously good speed tier that I really needed, and so I was really glad to pick up this one. And finally, maybe the steal of the draft, in my opinion. It's close. There's some things like late tier Tapu Koko and late tier Tapu Lele that were up there, but Metagross might be, in my opinion, at least top 5 steal of the draft, guys. I picked up Metagross in bonus 2 round, which was nuts. Metagross is one of those Pokemon that just is so versatile. Again, it's just absurdly versatile. You can bring defensive sets, you can bring utility sets, you can bring Band, Scarf, Agility. It's just all the coverage you could ever need. It's also one thing that's called the Excadrill. With Metagross, it's a fantastic lure. So you can run Shuka or Aqua Berry, and usually gets it's so bulky already that thanks to that you take an attack easily. Let's say, for example, Excadrill. Excadrill clicks Earthquake. You run Shuka Berry Metagross. You beat him with a Hammer Arm or Earthquake or something. And it's just such a reliable lure all the time. I don't know, guys. I think it's also another rocker. It's just a fantastic Pokemon. And Air Balloon's a good set. Oh my god. The things this Pokemon's capable of, it's absurd that it's drops to this round. I picked it up in bonus 2. It's a B-Light Pokemon. B-Light felt like an appropriate place for it power level wise, but it was definitely a good B-Light Pokemon at that, to be totally honest. And the fact that it didn't get drafted until bonus 2, it was unreal, man. What a steal. So if I have anything, this might be the glue that makes my draft, just puts it over the top. So let me know what you guys think of this draft. It feels just insane to me. I feel like I'm going to be just wrecking shop. Week 1's next week, guys. Should be real. I'm excited. We're going to open up against the Resort City Marshadow, coached by Free. A good coach with this good team. Definitely going to be a showdown. I'm already starting to prepare, so I'm excited. The hype levels are up there. So until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.